Okay, let's have a look at installing FileZilla on your own computer. In the previous video we looked at installing FileZilla on a uClan machine. Now I'm gonna look at what you need to do to install FileZilla on your own machine, either at home or a laptop you bring into uClan. The procedure is more or less the same whether you use Windows or Mac OS X. Okay, first you go to a browser of your choice. I'm starting Firefox here, but it would work with any other browser. And you then need to go to FileZilla-project.org. Once you are there, you can download the client here. Let's talk about this address. The best thing is if you enter FileZilla-project.org yourself. If you use a search engine, you might somehow end up on the wrong website, and they might give you some dodgy download, some version of FileZilla maybe that includes additional software you might not want. So the best thing is you download it from the official website. Ignore the server bit here. This is if you want to run your own server. We want the client, the software that we need to connect to the server. Your own machine is not a web server. It's not running 24/7. It's not available over the internet all the time. So when we create websites or PHP files, they need to go onto the web server so that people can access them. Imagine you had a company and you want your company website to be accessible all the time. It needs to be on a server that is running all the time. You can't just run it on your own machine. Okay, we need to download the client. So click here. And depending on whether you got Windows or Mac OS X or Linux, it should suggest the right version here. And you click on download now. And it should then automatically download the file. I want to save it. You can ignore all the advertising here at the top and at the bottom. Many of those ads will say start download, but they just try to trick you into downloading something else. Okay, once you downloaded the software, install it the way you normally do. Double click on it, follow the instructions, and once it's installed, start the software. So I'm gonna start FileZilla now because I already installed it earlier. And it's the same interface as the one you get at uClan. So don't enter your details here. Otherwise you got to enter them again and again. Go to File, Site Manager, and create a new site. Host is bimserver2.com. Protocol is SFTP. Logon type is normal. Username is whatever username I emailed you. Password is whatever password I emailed you. It's best if you type a username and password out. If you copy and paste it, you might select a few characters too much. If you double click on a word in a Windows machine and there are words in front or above, it will automatically select the space after the word you clicked on. So when you copy and paste that word, you'll have a space afterwards. If that happens for your password, you get an error message. So if it doesn't work, first type the password out. It should then work. You can give the whole site a name so that you can identify it in case you got many different sites stored in your FileZilla, and then you just connect. In this window you can see the connection is being made. On the right side you now see what's on the server. The left side shows you what's on your own hard disk. If I quit FileZilla and if I go there again another time, the settings should be stored. in the site manager. Yeah, this is the one I created, so all I need to do is I need to click on connect, and it will connect to the server, and I see all the files here. And remember, only files you put into this folder will be on your website. If you put a file, let's say, into this folder or into the main folder, it will be on the server, but you can't look at it in a web browser. So all your files need to go into this folder. And by default, there should be 3 different files there. And you can actually delete them. Web servers are usually configured to give you a file called index if you didn't tell the web server which file you want. So let's start Firefox. I want to go to my page, your username.bimserver2.com, and because I didn't specify which file I want, the server was checking, is there a file called index? And because there was no file called index, this server was additionally checking, is there a file called quick start, which is something that was automatically created when your account was created. So what you basically see here is the content of this file called quick start. And those icons, I haven't looked into it, maybe there should be that icon here. Yeah, our file size is 0, so maybe there's nothing there. As I said, I haven't looked into it. So what you should do is you should delete those 3 files, select them, right click, click on delete. Yeah, I want to delete them. And now next time you visit your web page, I just refresh. Instead of getting that file, you get a list of all your files. That has the advantage that if you upload a file to the server, let's just upload something. Let's upload this file. Not that it has any meaning in this context. It starts with a dot, so it's a hidden file. Let's pick another file, a non-hidden file. Now you get the list of all the files on the server. So this has the advantage that if there's a space, for example, in your file name, if you're not sure how you used uppercase, lowercase, you don't have to remember, you don't have to spell it all out the way you spelled it in your file. Instead of spelling it all out, you can just click on your files and they will load. Okay. Yeah. So the important thing to remember is copy your files into this folder called your username. If your name is Arthur Dent, it would be adent.bimserver2.com. The difference between using it on your private machine and using it on a uCloud machine is you don't need the proxy settings on your private machine. Even if it's your laptop and you bring it into uCloud, you connect to the Wi-Fi, you don't need the proxy settings, you only need them on a uCloud machine.